What if Iran stepped into the ongoing Israel-Palestine conflict? How would it impact the balance of power, regional stability, and the prospects for peace? Now, that's a question that's been making rounds in political and diplomatic circles. To start off, let's take a brief glimpse into the Israel-Palestine conflict. It's a historical tussle that traces its roots back to the early 20th century and has been heavily influenced by both local and global power dynamics. The current state of affairs is far from peaceful. We have a volatile situation, with tensions escalating and de-escalating sporadically. Now imagine introducing Iran into this already complex equation. Iran, a nation with significant geopolitical influence and intricate relationships with different factions, could potentially tip the scales in unforeseen ways. But to truly grasp the implications of Iran's potential involvement, we need to delve deeper. We need to understand the historical, political, and social fabric of the Israel-Palestine conflict. And that's exactly what we're going to do next. Understanding Iran's potential involvement requires a deeper look into the history of the Israel-Palestine conflict. The Israel-Palestine conflict has a complex history with its roots in the 20th century. To understand Iran's potential role, we need to unravel this historical tapestry. As we trace the threads back in time, we arrive at the establishment of Israel in 1948. This event was a turning point, sparking a series of wars that shaped the region's landscape. The subsequent wars, notably the Six-Day War in 1967 and the Yom Kippur War in 1973, left the region in turmoil and led to the emergence of the Palestinian resistance. Now let's weave in the thread of Iran. Iran's role in the region has been particularly significant since the Islamic Revolution in 1979. This pivotal moment in Iran's history transformed the country into an Islamic republic and marked a shift in its foreign policy. Iran began to actively support groups opposing Israel, leveraging its influence to counterbalance Israel's dominance in the region. One such group is Hezbollah, based in Lebanon. Iran's relationship with Hezbollah is a critical piece of this complex tapestry. Iran funds and equips Hezbollah, which has been at the forefront of the fight against Israel since the early 1980s. Iran's support for Hezbollah underscores its commitment to the Palestinian cause and its desire to exert influence in the region. Another thread to consider is Hamas, the Palestinian group controlling Gaza. Iran has provided substantial financial and military support to Hamas, enabling it to mount a significant resistance against Israel. Iran's relationship with Hamas further cements its position as a key player in the Israel-Palestine conflict. In weaving together these threads, we can see a pattern emerge. Iran's involvement with groups like Hezbollah and Hamas has deepened the complexities of the Israel-Palestine conflict. Its support for these groups underscores its commitment to the Palestinian cause and its desire to counterbalance Israel's dominance in the region. With this historical backdrop, it becomes clear that Iran's involvement could significantly shape the dynamics of the Israel-Palestine conflict. So what happens if Iran steps onto this turbulent stage? The potential impact could be far-reaching. Let's delve into the possible scenarios that could unfold if Iran becomes more directly involved in the Israel-Palestine conflict. Firstly, the violence could escalate. Iran's military prowess is well known, and their involvement could lead to a significant uptick in the scale and intensity of the conflict. They could provide advanced weaponry and strategic support to Palestinian militant groups, leading to an escalation that could far surpass previous confrontations. Secondly, there's the issue of regional instability. The Middle East is a delicate geopolitical jigsaw puzzle, and Iran's direct involvement in the conflict could send shockwaves throughout the region. Other countries might be drawn into the conflict, either through alliances or by being caught in the crossfire, potentially leading to a broader regional conflict. Then we have to consider the implications for international relations. Iran's involvement could strain their already tense relationships with Western powers, particularly the United States. The international community's efforts to manage the conflict could be upended, making diplomatic resolution even more challenging. But perhaps the most concerning aspect is the potential danger posed by Iran's influence over militant groups. Iran has long-standing ties with groups like Hamas and Islamic Jihad, and their support could embolden these groups to intensify their resistance. This could lead to a cycle of violence that is even harder to break. It's also worth noting that Iran's involvement could have unpredictable consequences. The dynamics of the Israel-Palestine conflict are complex, and the addition of a new major player could disrupt established patterns in unforeseen ways. This unpredictability adds another layer of risk to an already volatile situation. The entry of Iran into this conflict could fundamentally alter the landscape, making an already complex situation even more volatile. It's clear that the ramifications could be far-reaching, affecting not just Israel and Palestine, but the entire Middle East and beyond. This is a scenario the world needs to be prepared for. The Israel-Palestine conflict is a complex historical issue with global implications. The potential involvement of Iran only adds another layer of complexity. Throughout this video, we've delved into the historical context, highlighting the long-standing tensions and the political chessboard that is the Middle East. We've also examined Iran's role in the region, its alliances, and how its involvement could potentially escalate the conflict. Finally, we've explored the potential impact of Iran's participation. The stakes are high, not just for the immediate players, but for the global community. As observers of global politics, understanding these dynamics helps us to better appreciate the complexities of the Middle East and the potential implications of Iran's involvement in the Israel-Palestine conflict.